At the beginning of the movie, who could be so incredibly blessed, surrounded by so many beautiful women? It turns out to be Zhang Lang, each arm wrapped around a girl. One is Lu Shuning, the vice sect master of the Jade Maiden sect. The other is Zhao Tiechui. It's a sight to make anyone drool. Just then, the sound of a door being kicked open came from outside. Her cold face and white hair made every man desire her. It was Jun Xuanxiao, the empress of the Jade Maiden sect. Zhang Lang slurred, "You're here? Come on in for some fun." He laughed, truly despicably. While blissfully enjoying himself with his lovers, Zhang Lang was suddenly disturbed by a noise. Good heavens, it turns out this fellow was dreaming. In reality, he was just a lowly security guard at the Jade Maiden sect, awakened by someone knocking at the door. It turned out to be the voices of two girls outside the Jade Maiden sect, calling at the gate that had shattered Zhang Lang's beautiful dream. The Jade Maiden sect was the only all-female sect among the 6 sects of Huazhou. The female cultivators here were all stunningly beautiful, enough to topple cities and nations. Moreover, they harbored a deep hatred for men. Within a 100-mile radius, even male dogs were neutered. So, how on earth did Zhang Lang end up as a guard here? The moment he appeared, the 2 girls from before scrambled away, practically losing their slippers. 3 days ago, while he was bathing and scrolling through TikTok, the water in his bathtub suddenly seemed to be sucked downwards. And just like that, he fell from there into this world. As luck would have it, he landed right on the stone statue used for the Jade Maiden sect's ancestral worship ceremony. Stark naked at that moment, Zhang Lang thought he was surely done for, about to end up on the ancestral altar. But suddenly, a goddess-like woman with an enormous bust appeared, spared his life, and gave him a job as a guard at the foot of the mountain. And so, unlike other transmigrated protagonists, he had no special talents or any golden finger, cheat ability. He could only stay here and work as a guard. Luckily, the place was teeming with beautiful women, which made him constantly crave them, especially the woman who had spared his life. She was the empress of the Jade Maiden sect. While lusting after the thought of her xoi, sticky rice, buns, Zhang Lang suddenly felt his chest heat up. Suddenly, a system awakened. So he too had a system like other transmigrators. But his system was a bit strange. The system immediately assigned him his first mission, called Check-In. Before nightfall, he had to reach Empress Jun Xuanxiao's bedroom. The reward was unknown, but if he failed the mission, the penalty would be death by exploding internal organs. What the hell was this? Zhang Lang was utterly bewildered. It would have been better if the system hadn't appeared. This was practically a death sentence. Forget reaching the Empress's bedroom. Just getting close would turn him into minced meat. Was this a joke? System, he yelled in anger. Before he could finish, the system's voice cut in. Shut up! The mission has been assigned. No bargaining. What an aggressive system. He was immediately ejected from his subconscious. What a miserable fate. Well, he'd die if he didn't go, and he'd likely die if he did. At least if he went, he might get a chance to glimpse the most beautiful woman in the world before ending up on the altar. Night fell at the Jade Maiden sect. Outside the main hall, our protagonist had geared up for some peeping, masked, dressed head to toe in black. He snuck along the corridor and reached the outside of the Empress's room. Huh? I'm here? Is that it? Zhang Lang was both scared and puzzled. Don't tell me I have to go inside the room. Holy moly. He carefully cracked the door open and peeked inside. Jun Xuanxia wasn't asleep yet. She was cultivating. In fact, she had already sensed someone peeping, but didn't expect him to dare open the door and look in. If she weren't at a critical moment in her cultivation, she would have definitely diced him up and fed him to the dogs. Zhang Lang, thinking no one knew, stealthily put a foot forward and slowly stepped inside. Unfortunately, he stepped right onto a trap mechanism. A bright light shot up from under his feet, alerting the 2 vice sect masters, who immediately realized someone had broken into the Empress's room. Meanwhile, Zhang Lang had completed his first mission. His body seemed to emit an incredible surge of power. Was this the mission reward? His physique had transformed into the spring heart transformation body. Brothers, don't mind the little chicken down below, okay? Not only did he gain a powerful physique, but he was also rewarded with a pair of divine traveling boots. At this moment, Jun Xuanxiao couldn't hold back any longer. She immediately launched a kick toward Zhang Lang, her thin skirt flying up with the wind, revealing her assets and causing Zhang Lang's drool to spill all over the floor. Beautiful, beautiful, so damn gorgeous. Just then, the system announced, Spring Heart Transformation Body Energy Charge, 40%. So whenever he saw a hot scene, his power would increase. This system was truly domineering. Yes, I like this. Zhang Lang felt like he'd received a power-up. He easily caught Jun Xuanxiao's kick with one hand. She was utterly astonished. Who was this guy who could block her full-force attack with a single hand? What kind of divine being was he? By now, people from the Jade Maiden sect had arrived outside. Zhang Lang quickly leaped onto the roof and fled. With the power boost from seeing the Jade Maiden sect Empress's alluring body, no one there could stop him now. Furious, Jun Xuanxiao could only grit her teeth in her heart. the bastard had interrupted her cultivation, causing her vital energy to backlash. When the vice sect masters and the others arrived, it was too late. All they could do was order the mountain gates to be sealed, absolutely determined not to let that pervert escape the Jade Maiden sect. In the main hall of the Jade Maiden sect, after scolding Tiechui for failing to protect the sect and allowing the pervert to infiltrate, Jun Xuanxiao announced she had identified the pervert's scent and ordered her disciples to find him at all costs. Meanwhile, Zhang Lang was still on the run. He ducked into the steam room. Holy crap! There were even a few girls steaming in here. The sight caused Zhang Lang's nose to bleed uncontrollably. This is it, gentlemen! Their eyes opened, and they saw Zhang Lang. They all jumped and shrieked loudly. Brothers, if you want to know what that shriek sounded like, just walk into a women's restroom. Zhang Lang hastily ran out, only to encounter Tiechui leading a group of disciples in pursuit. But by now, having seen so many soy buns and other assets, Zhang Lang's spring heart transformation body had been enhanced to 130%. His body was too hot from this tremendous power. He had to release it. Just then, Tiechui, wielding her vast skyhammer, caught up. But could she really catch him? For Zhang Lang, at this moment, a group of disciples from the Black Sword sect appeared before him. They unleashed a move so fast he couldn't react. And then, there was no and then. He was tied up and brought to the Jade Maiden sect's main hall. Kneeling in the hall, Tiechui asked, "Do you admit your crime?" Zhang Lang immediately played dumb. Huh? Where am I? Who am I? Xuanxiao then spoke up, claiming he was feigning ignorance, had infiltrated as a guard, and possessed immense hidden strength, at least at the 6th level of the condensing marrow heavenly stage. Impossible! Tiechui herself hadn't even reached that level. Tiechui immediately pointed to a group of disciples completely covered in bandages. These guys had been so thoroughly thrashed by Zhang Lang that out of fear, they blamed Tiechui for everything. Ugh, this headache! Xuanxiao ordered them all to be thrown out. Then she had someone approach Zhang Lang and use their power to inspect his body. But strangely, there wasn't a trace of cultivation within him. Forget condensing marrow. He didn't even have the most basic spirit-gathering cultivation. Tiechui was incredibly surprised. Could it be, I caught the wrong person? Impossible. He's definitely faking it. Xuanxiao leaped forward and grabbed Zhang Lang by the throat. He must be faking it. She intended to beat him until he revealed his true rat-like nature. However, because her soy buns were pressed against Zhang Lang, he once again felt his spring heart transformation body charging up. I can't take it anymore. My body is too hot. His strength surged back. Luckily, just then, Xuanxiao ordered everyone to stop, saying she was tired. It was truly fortunate for Zhang Lang. At that moment, in his divine consciousness, the system reappeared, assigning him missions 2 and 3. Mission 2, within 72 hours, he had to reach the main peak of Van Mondai Sun, Vast Desolation, Great Mountain. The penalty for failure remained death by exploding internal organs. Meanwhile, in Xuanxiao's room, the vice sect master was questioning why she wanted to keep him as a guard. After all, he was a man, and the sect had never harbored men before. But Xuanxiao evaded the question, telling the vice sect master to withdraw so she could rest. It turned out she had her own secret thoughts. Her Jade Maiden sect was currently weak. Although one of the 6 sects, the other 5 sects were eyeing it covetously. She felt dejected, believing herself incompetent. Previously, she had knelt before the ancestral statue, begging the sacred ancestors in heaven for guidance. Inexplicably, that was precisely when the pervert, Zhang Lang, had fallen from the sky onto the stone statue. She believed it was surely the ancestors' will. More peculiar was that this man had no cultivation, yet he had effortlessly blocked her full power attack with one hand in her bedroom. It turned out she had recognized him long ago, but hadn't wanted to expose him. This strange Zhang Lang must be cultivating some profound technique. Back in the guard room, Zhang Lang was fiddling with a pair of stockings. Damn it, so this is the mission, he cursed. That blasted system, coming up with such a wretched task. He figured that while girls these days might not know what these were, they'd surely find them perverted. The thought was mind-boggling. Outside, a pair of eyes was watching him. Ah, this pervert. It was Tiechui. She kicked the door open and stormed in, catching Zhang Lang red-handed. She immediately jumped onto the bed, demanding to see his hands. But as fate would have it, Tiechui got too close, allowing him a clear view of her exoi, ample chest. His spring heart transformation body immediately began to charge energy. Luckily, she found the stockings strange and jumped down to examine them curiously. That was a close call. Zhang Lang was terrified. He had almost unleashed his power. Finding the stockings rather interesting, Tiechui decided to confiscate them, stuffing them into her pocket. Still angry about how his feigned ignorance had gotten her scolded by the sect master, she grabbed a sack, bundled him inside, and carried him off. It seemed she intended to dispose of him to vent her anger. Zhang Lang's life was truly miserable. First the system threatening him, now this woman wanting to silence him by killing him. Somehow, after a while, he had completed the second mission. The reward was the power to turn his entire body transparent, becoming invisible for 3 minutes. Ah, so Tiechui, after stuffing him into the sack, had brought him to the main peak of Vanman Daison. How lucky that mission too also required him to come here. Oh, wait, no, not lucky at all. She brought him here to silence him. Hehehe, dig a hole for yourself. Make it wide enough to lie comfortably cool, Tichui ordered, sitting leisurely. Now, you have 2 choices. 1, be buried alive. 2, be sent to heaven by my kick. Your third option is to quickly unleash all your power and fight me. Unexpectedly, at that moment, 2 large figures appeared behind Tichui. She thought Zhang Lang was trying to distract her to escape, but then the 2 large figures attacked her. Fortunately, she managed to dodge in time. It turned out they were from an alien race. You damn pigs! You've messed with the wrong person! Tiechui, furious, was about to counterattack, but was hit by arrows shot by enemies hidden behind her. She was now injured in the shoulder. More frighteningly, the arrows were poisoned, and the fast-acting toxin was already spreading through her body. The high priest of the alien race also emerged. He had intended to sneak into the Jade Maiden sect, but had encountered the Empress's direct disciple right here. So he decided to act. They only wanted to harm Tichui. So when they spotted Zhang Lang hiding in the hole, they paid him no mind, assuming he was just a useless servant. They casually ordered a subordinate to kill him. Tichui immediately swung her vast skyhammer, sending the alien disciple flying. She then reminded Zhang Lang, the alien race is the sworn enemy of the Jade Maiden sect. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, they were sealed in the Forbidden Zone. Sneaking here now, they definitely have a sinister plot. Zhang Lang, you are, after all, a guard of the Jade Maiden sect. You must take some responsibility for the sect. Go back immediately and inform the sect master. The high priest, seeing his advantage lost, used his staff to unleash a cloud of poisonous gas towards her. Just as she was about to reach a critical danger point, Zhang Lang fortunately rushed forward, using a log to block the attack. Such a hero. Despite blocking such a powerful blow, he only consumed 1/5 of his Spring Heart transformation body's energy. The furious high priest immediately led his alien horde to attack. But this Zhang Lang was no longer the useless guard he once was. With a single move, he sent the alien horde flying, causing Tiechui's previous hot-tempered demeanor to vanish, replaced by the look of an adorable young maiden gazing intently at Zhang Lang. The high priest immediately unleashed his strongest technique, summoning a grotesque skull that released a large amount of poisonous gas towards Zhang Lang, forcing him to use a full 30% of his energy to defend. What a waste. Such a weak, strongest move. Zhang Lang easily parried the high priest's attack, making the priest feel as if he had encountered a demon. How can he be so strong? What kind of monster is this? That's enough showing off. Zhang Lang feigned being hit and was sent flying backward. He then immediately grabbed Tiechu and jumped down the mountain to escape. They had now fled and hidden in a cave. Outside, the alien group was still searching. He pretended to have been hit by a technique and lost all his vital energy. The only way to detoxify is for Tiechui to wear those stockings. Oh, come on. How could Zhang Lang even think of something so shameless? Ha 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 ha. But she liked it. Seeing how Zhang Lang had risked danger to save her earlier, she believed him and put on the stockings. So easily fooled. She didn't even know what demonic material this thing was made of that made it so soft and smooth. Wearing it felt incredibly embarrassing. Why though? Whatever. I'll just wear it first. It was truly a sight for sore eyes, folks. This situation was genuinely amusing. After putting them on, Tichui felt an immense sense of pleasure. And just like that, Zhang Lang's mission number 3 was completed. He received a fortitude capsule as a reward. After consuming it, his fortitude points towards a designated target would increase by 300% for 1 hour. During that time, they couldn't be in the same room. As a bonus, he also received an evasion buff. After use, he would gain 100% effectiveness in evading attacks for 20 minutes. Turning back to see Tiechui wearing the stockings, his lecherous thoughts flared up again, and his nosebleed gushed like a spring shower. Spring Heart transformation. Body energy charge 105%. He couldn't bear it anymore. He immediately ran outside. Perfect timing. He ran right into the alien group searching for him. Exhilarated, he unleashed a palm strike of terrifying power, making the distant high priest think the Empress herself had arrived. The high priest immediately scrambled to escape, running for his life. But his disciples weren't so lucky. They were blasted into smithereens by the palm strike. Just when the high priest thought he had escaped, Zhang Lang suddenly appeared behind him and struck him down with a single blow, sending the high priest straight to the orthopedic trauma ward. He then captured him alive, trying to force him to reveal the alien race's conspiracy. But of course, the priest was tight-lipped and refused to confess. Ah, still won't talk, huh? A slap to the mouth. Torture is useless against me. My people are unyielding. Nothing can stop us. Even if you kill me, the other teams will complete the plan. He then immediately self-detonated after shouting, "Long live the evil god." Fortunately, Zhang Lang managed to carry Tiechui and flee. Otherwise, enduring the damage from his self-detonation would have been difficult to defend against. Luckily, he had used the divine traveling boots, a reward from a previous mission. By now, the two had returned to the Jade Maiden sect. Tichui told Zhang Long to let her explain everything to the sect master. As for the stockings, she would confiscate them. Indeed, no girl could resist the allure of those Zen stockings. Zhang Lang then pondered a bit about the group called the D-Talk, alien race. Just then, his HOT system appeared, and he promptly asked it for information about them. It turned out they were the non-human raising race of this world, essentially demons. 3,420 years ago, the alien race and the human race waged a great war for many years. In the end, the human race inflicted a terrible price on the alien race and drove all their forces to the 10 Great Forbidden Lands, which were then guarded by the 6 sects and the 4 cardinal divine sects in Huizhou. As time passed, their vital energy gradually recovered, and they plotted to counterattack and reclaim the world. What he encountered today was just a small squad. He also asked how cultivation was measured here. The cultivation ranks were divided into 9 levels, from bottom to top: spirit gathering, condensing marrow, bone refining, great grandmaster, origin emperor, deity transformation, and true immortal. Each level had 9 heavens, or layers. His spring heart transformation, Unbody, had a capacity of 1,300 units. A 100% charge was equivalent to the 6th layer of the Great Grandmaster realm. Each completed mission would grant accumulation points, which could be used to exchange for increased capacity and various items. Every 10 units of capacity required 100 accumulation points. Currently, he had 13 accumulation points, only enough to exchange for books and newspapers. Exchange books and newspapers to use as toilet paper? What he needed were props to make himself stronger. Oh, speaking of which, since he was a notorious pervert, he immediately used the points to exchange for an XX-rated story. As he lay reading, his spring heart transformation body's points continuously increased. What a brilliant idea! Hearing a noise outside, Zhang Lang peeked through the door. It was that group of experts from the Black Sword sect again. Their repeated attempts to break in, time after time, made him curious. He immediately followed to observe. But how did they get in so easily? Zhao Tiachui's defenses were truly lax. It turned out she was sitting in front of a mirror, admiring her own beauty while wearing the seductive Zen stockings. Meanwhile, Zhong Lang had knocked out 2 guards of the Empress's palace. He deduced that these intruders must be heading for the Empress's palace. As a guard, he definitely had to inform her. That was his thought, but in reality he wanted to go admire her and conveniently trip into her. It should be fine, right? What a despicable thought. But he heard no sound, thinking they might have acted faster. He immediately kicked the door open. Everyone, hands up! But there was no one inside except for Sect Master Xuanxiao, lying as if unconscious from poisoning. She was still wearing her nightgown, a truly tempting sight. Instantly, arrows shot towards him. He recognized them as the poisonous arrows of the alien race. At that moment, Xuanxiao managed to open her eyes slightly. She immediately hugged him, likely affected by some poison that acted as an aphrodisiac. She clung to him tightly and kissed Zhang Lang, causing his nose to bleed again. The alien race members rushed in. He had to fend off Xuanxiao, who kept clinging to him while simultaneously dodging the alien race's attacks. Just then, the system popped up, announcing he had completed Mission 4 and received a great reward. But there was no time to claim it. He had to carry the Empress and flee. Meanwhile, on the Vice Sect Master side, a disciple had arrived to report that assassins had infiltrated the Jade Maiden sect. She immediately rushed to the Empress's room, her own ample assets bouncing. When she reached the courtyard, she saw a scene where all the disciples had been trapped by the heavenly net array. Unexpectedly, a high-level expert, a purple-robed priest, Tu Bao Tesu, of the alien race, had infiltrated the sect. A purple-robed priest was equivalent in cultivation to the 9th layer of the Great Grandmaster realm. If the Empress were in her normal state, dealing with them would be as easy as flipping her hand. But unfortunately, she was not well at this moment. Back with Zhang Long and the Empress, Xuanxiao was still unconscious due to the poison, unable to control her body. She kept groping Zhang Lang. For her to be like this at such a critical moment, Zhang Lang was terrified because the alien race members were clinging to them like starving leeches. Even more terrifying, he had spotted an even more formidable enemy approaching, making him repeatedly yell, "Wake up! Wake up, old lady! No one can save you now." It turned out the newcomer was the alien race's purple-robe high priest, Tu Bao Dai Te Tu. Standing on the roof, he was quite surprised to see Zhang Lang, as men had never appeared in the Jade Maiden sect before. This bastard wants to ruin my grand plan? This guy's strength was formidable. The problem was the entire area was sealed by a barrier. Not knowing what to do, Zhang Lang immediately thought of opening the system and took out a scroll. What the heck is this? Seriously joking at a time like this? This scroll actually allowed him to see right through all of Xuanxiao's clothes. Truly domineering. But we're in the middle of a fight, system. Wiping the nosebleed from witnessing the Empress's majestic towering peaks, Zhang Lang angrily yelled at the system. What kind of shameless tattered rags are these props you gave me? The divine traveling boots tore apart before I could even run far. After being scolded by Zhang Lang, the system also got angry and flicked him out of her divine consciousness. Oh, mother! Just then, the high priest launched a palm strike. Quickly blocking his attack cost Zhang Lang 50% of his spring heart transformation body's energy. Struggling is futile. I am the strongest existence here. As the high priest intensified his attacks on Zhang Lang, he reluctantly had to demand the system open the mission for reward immediately. What? The high priest was utterly shocked because his full power attack had been completely absorbed by Zhang Lang through the mission for reward. The reward was now revealed. The divine weapon, the cloud-returning sword, Kui Van Kim. The sword that belonged to the Hien Vian clan 3,000 years ago, capable of absorbing the chi of heaven and earth and shattering demons and evil. Why would it appear in the hands of a nameless nobody like this? The high priest was extremely puzzled, as he had seen this sword in ancient books. Annoyed at being called a nameless nobody, Zhang Lang swung the sword down, shouting, I am the distinguished captain of the security team, responsible for the safety of tens of thousands of the finest pairs of probing eyes in the world. How dare you look down on me? A single slash carrying terrifying power disintegrated the high priest into nothingness. The immense force shattered all the protective barriers and formations. Because of this, the vice sect master and her group on the other side were able to cross over and find their sect master. Xuanxiao had also regained some consciousness. It turned out that while she was cultivating, she suddenly suffered a cultivation deviation, Tao Hua Nyat Ma, and couldn't remember what had happened. Why is the palace in such ruins? Hearing this, the vice sect master was astonished. If the empress had been unconscious, then who defeated that incredibly powerful alien race expert? Xuanxiao then said that while unconscious, she vaguely saw the figure of a man carrying her, escaping their pursuers. Otherwise, she would have been gang raped by the alien race. A man? She immediately thought of the heaven-sent guard from a few days ago. Meanwhile, Zhang Long, having dealt with the high priest, had returned to the guard room. That sword was powerful, but it had also consumed almost all his energy, leaving him with an aching back. After all, in a place full of pork hocks and sticky rice, he had overexerted himself with manual labor, a bit too much. Ha 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 ha. Everything was resolved. The captured alien race members confessed that a mysterious man, calling himself some great captain, had intervened. Furthermore, he possessed the cloud-returning sword, which had been missing for 1,000 years. Could it be a descendant of the Hien Vian clan? The vice sect master wondered to the empress. The two of them speculated about the identity of the mysterious savior. Could it be Zhang Lang? The vice sect master wanted to go interrogate him, but was stopped by the empress. What concerned her was how the alien race had managed to bypass their defenses and enter the Jade Maiden sect so easily. Other sects, responsible for guarding, had also reported disturbances. It seemed the alien race was planning something big. Xuanxiao issued an order. She would personally go to Langfeng Gorge, Wolf Peak Gorge, on a punitive expedition against the alien race to show them the strength of the Jade Maiden sect. The vice sect master and Taichui, along with 30 outstanding disciples, would accompany Xuanxiao. After witnessing Zhang Lang's mysterious power, perhaps she had already decided to entrust her soy buns to him in the future. She told the vice sect master that no one else needed to come. Just the three of them, herself and their lucky guard, would suffice. The next day, everyone arrived at Langfeng Gorge. Two more equally beautiful disciples appeared. The third disciple, Yi Yi, and the fourth disciple, Qingling. They were in charge of guarding Langfeng Gorge. Since the disciples here didn't yet know about the new guard named Zhang Lang in the Jade Maiden sect, the sect master had arranged for him to cosplay as a female, using a voice changer to disguise himself. The vice sect master repeatedly reminded him to behave, not to be mischievous, run around, or tease the other female disciples, or she would deal with him. Zhang Lang still didn't know why the empress had brought him along. Other disciples found Zhang Lang a bit strange and approached. This is a trainee disciple? Qingling, finding him odd, also came closer to take a look. So this is our junior sister. Let me show you around. She then immediately led him away, introducing the surroundings. Langfeng Gorge was the Jade Maiden sect's defensive pass against the alien race. To the left and right were 1,000 miles of mountains that not even a divine eagle could fly over. Only the central gorge, no more than 100 meters wide, was passable. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the alien race frequently tried to attack Huazhou through this pass, ultimately abandoning their attempts in canned defeat, so caution was necessary. Zhang Lang also asked Qingling about the ranking system of the alien race. Within the alien race, the dominant positions are held by high priests, Dai Te Tu, who are magic casters. Their ranks are distinguished by the color of their robes, from top to bottom: red robe, yellow robe, white robe, and blue robe. Below the priests are ordinary alien race members. They are skilled in physical combat, but their fighting strength isn't considered overwhelmingly superior. However, they are adept at controlling beasts. In the desert, there are all sorts of ferocious alien race creatures, numerous and very powerful. Special vigilance is required. Hearing this, he realized that the two high priests he had defeated were entirely different in strength, and their robe colors were also different. Qingling then led him to a large tent. Inside were hot spring pools. "You're here, so come in and bathe. We can talk while we soak. Besides, the water here is very good for cultivation." She then immediately began to undress. Whoa, she's really going for it. If I take mine off, my hose will definitely pop out. This girl seemed to be a lesbian, constantly trying to persuade Zhang Long to bathe with her. At that moment, the system sent him Mission 5. He had to straighten out Qingling. The penalty for failure was to be raped by a muscular, dark-skinned young man. Oh my god! Reading this, he almost choked on his rice from laughing so hard. This system was truly shameless. To think of such a morally bankrupt punishment. Zhuang Lang stepped back, intending to reveal the truth, but Than Lin immediately cut him off. "Am I not beautiful?" She then pulled off her top, causing Zhuang Lang's nose to erupt in a geyser of blood that wouldn't stop. "And you said you weren't interested? Just one look at my body, and your nose is bleeding profusely. Come, come, let me show you a thing or two." As Than Lin advanced, the voice-changing charm suddenly wore off. Such a strange, cold voice? Realizing the charm had expired, Zhuang Lang bolted, running for dear life like a scalded dog, desperate to escape. However, he ran straight into a hot spring where Than Lin was already soaking. She approached and began to undress him. "What the heck? Inside were 2 melons," she exclaimed. She assumed his chest was flat, making him too self-conscious to bathe with her. This silly boy, why be so insecure? This lady is quite the optimist, isn't she? She thought. Then she hugged him, declaring, "From now on, I'll protect you, little sister. I won't let anyone mock your 2 little screws." During the embrace, she suddenly felt something amiss. Something hard kept pressing against her. Oh, for crying out loud. Turns out it's Zhuang Lang's dragon spout. She let out a scream louder than any she'd ever uttered. Outside, the female emperor and her 2 attendants heard the scream. Perhaps Than Lin is in danger? Has the voice-changing charm worn off? But the one truly in peril wasn't Than Lin. It was Zhuang Lang. Upon discovering he was a genuine horned owl, a man, she became utterly enraged, unleashing a barrage of attacks as she chased him, forcing him to flee for his life. Despite Than Lin's relentless assault, Zhuang Lang resolved not to retaliate against the young woman. Just as Than Lin's sword was about to connect with Zhuang Lang, fortunately the vice sect master appeared and intercepted the blow. Than Lin, still seething, ranted about Zhuang Lang being a horned owl. The female emperor, standing behind them, finally spoke. "He's a new guard I recently recruited for the mountain's base." "But how can this be? Our Jade Maiden sect, even our dogs must be female. How could we allow a man to be a guard?" Well, regardless, it was the sect master who vouched for him. Still, resentful that he had deceived her, Than Lin was adamant. Today, she would turn Zhuang Lang into a eunuch, one way or another. "Never mind those 2, the female emperor said dismissively. "Zhuang Lang must have done something to provoke her. Besides, he's the strongest one here. He'll be fine." She then instructed Yin Hat, "Take me to see the encampment of the foreign tribes." Meanwhile, Zhuang Lang was hiding behind a shack. He accessed his system interface, searching for something to pacify that crazy lesbian. As he searched, a blade thrust from behind nearly claimed his little brother. He narrowly dodged. Otherwise, he would have truly become a eunuch. Than Lin continued to hurl sword chi at him. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, Zhuang Lang thought, taking out a pill. It turned out to be the charm pill he had obtained as a reward from Mission 3. After consuming it, his entire body seemed to radiate a captivating aura. Than Lin, moments before a raging beast, now looked like an incredibly endearing young girl. No, I can't let him deceive me. Than Lin desperately tried to fight off the effect, still hell-bent on castrating that wretched guard today. But how could she possibly resist his #1 lecherous system? Zhuang Lang immediately moved closer, causing her heart to flutter uncontrollably. He then embraced her, making her blush profusely. Truly, this pill, which enhanced his allure by 300%, was the real deal. What now, he wondered. Force a kiss? Grope her? Pin her down? He'd never done anything like that before, so he was clueless about the next step. Suddenly, Than Lin reacted intensely. It turned out Zhuang Lang had inadvertently brushed against her bottom, causing her to completely lose her composure and pounce on him, ripping at his clothes. But the pill came with a strict prohibition. One must not do the deed with the person under its influence. Damn it, what now, he thought. He had clearly corrected Than Lin's sexual orientation. So why hadn't the system announced the completion of the 5th mission? Zhuang Lang was completely baffled. Just as she was about to tear his pants off, the pill's 3-minute duration expired. Than Lin jolted back to her senses. Well, this is a real disaster, folks, she thought, growing even more incensed. She leaped into the air, gathering her spirit energy, fully intending to decapitate Zhuang Lang, both his upper head and his lower head, with a single stroke. Once again, The vice sect master intervened, blocking Thin Lin's attack. It turned out she had witnessed the entire spectacle. She mused, I never expected this foolish guard to actually straighten out Thin Lin. How amusing. In that case, we should be thanking him for curing her. Now, the female disciples of the Jade Maiden sect no longer need to worry about her harassing them. Zhang Long was overjoyed to find he was no longer Chung Taijian. The next day at the camp, Zhang Lang woke up after an incredibly arduous day of escape. He was pondering the energy of his spring heart transformation body when he turned around to see Than Lin sitting on a nearby mountain range, a rock menacingly in her hand. Damn it, has this woman still not given up on me? Just then, the vice sect master pulled him onto her soaring sword Qi. She said, even though you might have a way to deal with Than Lin directly, when that woman flies into a rage, even I'm not confident I can stop her. Perhaps you should ask for help from the Huyan Zhao. At that moment, the Huyan Zhao's icy demeanor, as cold as snow, left Zhang Lang somewhat dazed. It was undeniable that the Jade Maiden sect had countless beauties, but when it came to unparalleled looks, the female emperor was still number one. Just then, the system sent him a new mission. Within one day, he had to make the female emperor wear a JK uniform. Huh? What kind of uniform is that? The system explained it was a uniform already placed in his storage space, ready to be used anytime. Could it be another maid outfit, or perhaps something like a kitten or bunny costume? Zhang Lang thought, I really suspect this damn system. And the penalty for failing the mission was still death, this time by 10,000 arrows piercing his heart. Meanwhile, at the alien race's stronghold, Li Ni Bao, they all looked up to see the people from the Jade Maiden sect. Everyone launched their attacks down towards the alien race, especially Than Lin. She had pent up so much anger from not being able to personally castrate Zhang Lang, and her power was terrifying. Zhang Lang watched, fearing for his little brother. This was the alien race's largest granary, and they never expected the Jade Maiden sect to arrive so quickly to destroy it in revenge. Zhang Lang suddenly had a stroke of genius. He figured there was no way they wouldn't know about the female emperor's qi deviation and wouldn't have planned a sneak attack. Could this be a trap? It sounded plausible. The vice sect master immediately went to inform the female emperor that the alien race couldn't possibly have left such an important granary undefended. Than Lin, however, didn't think so. Impatiently, she leaped down, unleashing her spiritual energy to electrocute the aliens below, clearly venting her anger on an unrelated target. But indeed, it was a trap. The food supplies had all been replaced with sand. A sandstorm suddenly swept in, and Than Lin, unable to withstand it, collapsed. The real danger was from above. Fireballs rained down continuously. The female emperor and the disciples immediately deployed a defensive formation, but this wasn't a good long-term solution. The fireballs were too powerful. They had to leave the area. But it was no use. Their coverage was too wide. The moment they moved, the formation would weaken, and the fireballs would break through. Turning around, they couldn't find Zhang Lang. It turned out he had used 10% of his energy to propel himself upwards. I told them, but they wouldn't listen. Everything falls to me. He was incredibly smart. He just pretended to be foolish while acting as a guard. He immediately recognized the demonic aliens' formation. First, they used meteorites to paralyze their opponents, then used the sandstorm to obscure vision before slowly dropping giant fire meteors. Indeed, these demonic aliens had some cunning, but unfortunately for them, they had underestimated his presence. Zhang Lang concentrated 90% of his energy into one punch. Boom! The colossal firestone, controlling the demonic aliens' formation, was shattered into tiny pieces by his fist. It's over! He had used up all his energy and was now in free fall. Just in time, the female emperor flew up and caught him. Seeing that he had destroyed the giant firestone, she praised him, which greatly excited Zhang Lang, and his energy refilled completely. They all flew down, but couldn't find Than Lin. If they didn't return to the sect in time, they would fall for the demonic aliens' feint. But if they returned, they would abandon Than Lin. It was a real dilemma. Zhang Lang spoke up. Let me stay and find Than Lin. You all go back first. The alien race must have prepared for this. Even if the vice sect master pursues, she might be targeted and fall into their trap. The safest way is to send someone they don't know. Just then, the female emperor called him into an empty room. She said, though I don't know why you're hiding your true strength, I know everything. Your power is even greater than vice sect master Lok Thunin's. I'll let you stay and rescue Than Lin. She was a bit embarrassed, remembering how she had behaved somewhat excessively the night of her qi deviation. At this moment, Zhang Lang resorted to his old trick, feigning dizziness from exhausting his true qi to shatter the firestone earlier. I'd love to help, but I'm so tired. As he spoke, his eyes darted, glancing at the female emperor's assets. He said his cultivation method was very peculiar. To recover, he needed someone to cooperate with him. He pulled out the uniform the system had assigned him earlier. It was a Japanese schoolgirl outfit. See, I knew it. It was bound to be some cosplay outfit. He told her that if she wore it, he could recover his true qi. The female emperor looked at the strange outfit. After all, in her world, there were no such things as schoolgirls. She frowned. Who was she? The master of a sect. How could she be fooled by Zhang Lang's trick? Still, ever since he had appeared, he had indeed helped her many times at crucial moments. He probably didn't have any bad intentions. Besides, just changing clothes probably wouldn't cost her anything. So she went in to change. When she came out wearing it, the outfit felt tight and the skirt was short. The Huyan Zhao, the female emperor's name it seems, finished changing and called Zhonglang to turn around. Whoa, holy moly. Excuse me folks, I might have a nosebleed first. Younger viewers, you might want to skip this part, lest your parents confiscate your phones. I swear, she's the most beautiful female lead I've ever read about. Zhang Lang was probably frozen stiff for several hours, not just a few seconds. At that moment, the system chimed in, waking him up. Mission complete. The power within him now was truly formidable, making even the female emperor believe his earlier words were true. The system then displayed a notification. Spring heart transformation, body capacity increased to 2,000 units. After a 100% energy recharge, his strength was equivalent to a great master ninth heaven. With a confident and proud expression, he said, "Okay, baby, just leave things here to me." Meanwhile, at the ancestral mountain lair of the alien race, Fan Lin had been captured. Zhang Lang had used 4 points to exchange for a person-finding tool. His current accumulated points were 16. But this tool was incredibly effective. He found her in just 2 hours. The aliens appeared, rejoicing at capturing the 4th disciple of the Jade Maiden sect. That hag killed countless of our disciples. When she wakes up, let the brothers take turns enjoying her. Then, cripple her cultivation and throw her to the wolves. This short one was truly despicable. The one called Mr. spoke up, mocking the aliens' narrow-mindedness, the ratio of your object to this shorty's height. It turned out, this mysterious person was the one who had planned everything for the alien race beforehand. He was indeed intelligent, and immediately devised a plan to help the aliens get past Langfang Gorge, because a wondrous spirit core array was deployed there, a guardian spirit core specifically designed to deal with the alien race. Once within its range, their strength would be greatly diminished. They had tried many times but couldn't break it. Now that they had captured Thin Lin, Mr. showed them a way through.